Hello, everybody, and good morning. Welcome to the Mercury Morning News. I'm your host, Ben Wen, managing editor at the Mercury, along with my constant co-host.
Hey there, it's Amanda Maceda, station manager of Radio UTD.
It's a wonderful time here. It's a wonderful day. It's a little bit misty.
It's nice temperature.
It's a nice temp. It's a real nice temp. A little bit misty, portends perhaps some rain. But honestly, let's all be real, that'd be a little bit nice right now. It's a wonderful day. Today is October 24th, 2021. We're 1 week away from Halloween. And you gotta get your costumes on. Yeah, the 1 week timing for it. If you haven't started yet, I'd highly recommend doing so. I only just started. So I can't really criticize, but, you know.
Yeah, it's just
this
one
is probably
of those.
the timing.
It is midterm season for a lot of people, though, so it's unfortunate timing.
Is it? Does this still count as midterm?
I think so.
Are
I
we
don't
in the
know.
midterm
It's
season?
for the classes.
There's only
where
like
it's
a month left.
I don't need to think. Is there only? No.
There's like a month and a week left.
A month and oh my gosh.
Like you have the end of October, then you have November, and we're done. That's it.
Yeah, I guess I'm counting exams as a part of the weeks, but I guess in class.
I mean, even
content,
then. Okay, so even then, it's like a month and 3 weeks.
it's closer to 2 months than 1
guess.
month. But I still, we are vrooming towards the end very quickly.
We're vrooming towards there.
Yes.
As a reminder, y'all, you're listening to Radio UTD. You can follow us at Radio UTD across the social media board and check out all sorts of wonderful stuff on our blog, on our YouTube channel, all that good noise. You can call in at 972-883-6305, but we probably wouldn't answer you right now since we're kind of chatting. But if you called in during a music show while the music's playing, you'll probably get a word in. Say hello. Say how do you do.
Speaking of spooky season, Radio UTD is hosting a concert this week.
They are, in fact. It's the Skirts. We're getting in there.
We are.
Lay it on me.
The opener will be After a Night of Unsettling Dreams, and as you said, the headliner will be Skirts. Slight spooky themes. There is debate about whether we'll do like a costume contest to get some free vinyl, but we will be giving out free earplugs and Radio UTD tote bags, which are actually pretty water resistant from accidentally testing that out the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're water resistant, eh?
Yeah, not super duper water resistant, but they do, it was an accident, but some water fell. It did the droplet thing instead of soaking into the material, which I thought was pretty good. Pretty cool.
Right.
But, again, it's weather pending, which is terrifying because someone sent me the weather forecast and it's 60% for that day.
See, it didn't even rain last time.
It didn't even rain the last time, though, so I'm crossing all my fingers.
You should have just read it last time. Just sad. Just unfortunate.
Yeah, this time we're going to probably hold off a bit more before canceling it. Like maybe the morning of instead of the night before.
Hold a little bit of faith in there.
But it's going to be great. It's finally happening, and now it's got the spooky season vibes to it. So.
Of course. It's gonna be a great time. Unlike the activity center, apparently.
Oh?
So we ran if you've used the activity center regularly at all, you had to have noticed, it's just outdated. And it's pretty unfortunate. And so I think we ran a piece on it this last cycle. Nundico was working on it. Yeah, there we go. And realistically, it's just kind of an unfortunate product of the rapid growth of the university. Because whenever they originally built it, they're like, all right, this is a fairly small campus. it's not going to take all that much to, to satisfy the athletic needs of the campus, Unlike Radio UTD, which has more than enough music to fit all of your music needs, You can listen right here at radioutd.com. And you can follow us at Radio UTD across the social media board. But the Activity Center doesn't have quite the reach. It doesn't have quite the whole full spread. And they got, what is it? It's about 150,000 square foot facility. But by the current standards for how much square footage you should have for students, we should have double that.
Okay.
So we should, in an ideal world, have 300,000 square footage of facility. And on top of that, we just haven't been able to update all of the equipment. It's super old.
Yeah.
You can walk by the activity center sometimes to find like a bench without the bench part. Just like the little stand there.
There's always been, but it seems like there's even more of an issue now with this, but lines for equipment or certain machines.
Yeah, because people are still fairly apprehensive about the ongoing, disease. And so being in a super duper crowded place to do your workouts isn't exactly ideal.
True, yeah.
Right.
But with, COVID and staying at home, there was a bit of a surge of let's get healthy or, the whole glow up stuff. So I feel like there's a chance that they are dealing with, maybe actually it's the same amount of numbers since maybe more people are going to work out to better themselves physically. But at the same time, some of those people that would go maybe don't want to be in such a tightly enclosed space.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate thing. And I know, alright, we're going to pull up our handy dandy website. I don't have the the handy dandy newspaper on me right now, but then I was talking to somebody in charge of basically the activity center. Let me pull it up real quick. Can I get the news? There we go. Yeah, Tricia Lasavio. There we go. She's the UREC director. And so it's just like, it's super crowded. And it's also super crowded because, like, there's just a lot of new people, trying to come in. And there's always generally a lot of people at the beginning of the semester trying to come in. But recently, it's just kept going on. Even during the off hours, sometimes I'll walk out of the station at midnight. I'm like, all right, it's time to go home. Look to my left, look to my right. There's people in the activity center. It's just like, oh my god. Why are you here, bro?
Go when you can, is some people's mentality.
The gain's that important, man?
For some people, yes. It's, I kind of respect having that, like, strong of a goal. But at the same time, hopefully they're not overdoing it,
But yeah, it's pretty rough that it doesn't really matter what time you go. It almost feels like it's always people there.
Especially with some people maybe planning, I'll go during the off hours, so then more people show up than expected because everyone's trying to plan the same, try to show up when no one else is likely to show up.
Yeah, and then just everybody shows up all the time.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the unfortunate reality of that one. So it goes. SG did do, I hate the headline we put for this, but they did do a de-densification resolution, which is basically just like, hey, please, let's go back to de-densification. So the headline was re-de-densification, which was just compounding on an already like fake word, and like I hate it. But
was that instated for the entire UT system, or is de-densification a UTD original?
I think it's I think it was a UT system thing.
Okay.
But I'd have to double check. But yeah, so SG was like, can we just do this the entire semester? And the university's just kind of like, we're back in person.
Woo!
Yay, jazz hands. And it's just always like, you know, they did have a good survey. They had a lot of people being like, hey, please, you know, can we go back to de-intensification? And I feel like it's a common opinion for people to just be like, all right, maybe I like going in person, but other people should have the choice going in person or going online, right? But, you know, mixed results from SG, as always. Who knows if this will actually do anything? I don't think we've seen anything yet, right?
Right.
Am I running it down? Do we know?
Yeah, no, there's nothing that's been done about it except just feeling like, okay, it's not just me that feels like we should go back.
Yeah.
You know, it shows some solidarity with the thought, but it's up to the higher ups to decide to listen and adapt to the request.
I mean, I think it's more of like a higher ups have a hell or high water kind of mentality. You know what I mean? Especially since I know they basically just planned out They basically just planned out hey, at this time we're gonna go back in person if it looks good enough. And regardless of like what you may think about the manipulated COVID statistics or whatever, and the true statistics were still based off of data they provided. Like you could assume that they would still use that data, or maybe they don't even. I don't know, but like, I mean, I would assume that if you're gonna say, okay, this specific thing is fake, here's the real thing, but the real thing's also based on data they provided, right? It's based off of the listed amount of cases in emails. Mm-hmm. Then sure, okay, it's like an increase of 20 to 40 cases, depending. But even so, it's still been fairly consistent. And I feel like the university just probably made their decision based off that anyway, right?
Right.
They're just like, man, you can get vaccine. Which is just like it's a feels bad way of approaching it, right? You know. But, university seems to be pretty, gung-ho on getting it done, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, Radio was talking to, student affairs earlier this week, mm-hmm. and they mentioned, so far there have been no cases directly tied to, from a classroom or a student, infecting other people from going to class asymptomatic, which is a good sign, but also I think, does tomorrow mark 2 or 3 weeks since... Oh. Maybe it's 3 weeks, actually. 2? 2 or 3?
I think it's 2.
Okay, so I guess if there's anything that results, within these next few weeks from maybe something actually happening the first week and it just hasn't been time for it to catch up in terms of symptoms, I guess we'll find out real soon.
I suppose we'll find out. But that's how that goes. Hey, alright. We'll be right back in a moment to introduce an interview with Ginger Root. And in the meantime, you're listening to the Mercury Morning News. Stick around.
Radio UTD sounds a little bit like STD. But when you are infected by the sweet sounds, you are happy so happy. I am Langhorne Slim.
So Amanda, what's this interview with Ginger Root we got coming on up?
So I'm glad you asked, Ben. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh. This is the power of college radio in action. So the night of the night of our general meeting, I saw right beforehand, like as a YouTube notification, that Ginger Root was coming into town on October 19th. And then I immediately after our general meeting, I somersaulted over to our music director, Daniel, and asked if we could set up an interview because Ginger Root is a part of, within one of the promoters for the National American Community Chart, which is, it's the new music. They come from the new music, essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So, and it worked out, and we planned, and they came here, and we had a really nice interview. So we're going to be playing that for you coming up right now. It is a little rough because this is the raw audio, only hearing it here, folks. It will be probably a little bit edited once it's uploaded to YouTube. I hope y'all enjoy. Hey y'all, this is Amanda, and you're listening to RadioUTD.com, either on our YouTube or if we're streaming this later post-recording. Right now, we are in the studio with, drumroll.
Hello, Cameron from Ginger Root.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good. Sorry that it took a little bit of a kerfluffle to get you to the station.
It's all good. We're here. We're safe and sound, ready to go.
Awesome. For our listeners who aren't familiar with your work, how would you describe your sound?
There's a self-proclaimed genre of aggressive elevator soul. It's aggressive at times because of dynamics, elevator at times also because of dynamics being a little laid back, and soul because of kind of the groove-oriented music that Ginger Root is inspired by.
Do you have any specific groove-oriented artists that really inspired either like a certain album or just your push overall to explore this genre?
Yeah, kind of the early days of Ginger Root, it was definitely inspired by a lot of stuff I grew up listening to, like stuff from Motown or Philly soul, Stax and stuff like that. And also like around high school, I was listening to a lot of like Japanese city pop stuff and things from like the late 70s from that era, and yeah, kind of a fusion of things I listened to growing up, including more melodic stuff like Electro Light Orchestra or XTC and power pop stuff.
Nice. 100%. I love the way you describe your music because I bop. I do little fist bumps. I can imagine myself in an elevator just jamming.
Yeah, just vibing out in an elevator.
Vibing.
That's the scene.
Being a little chaotic.
Yeah.
So this isn't your first tour, right? Or is it?
No, we've before the pandemic, we were on the road for maybe about 2 years straight, almost 2 years straight. We would be home for less time than we were out playing shows and stuff. And so this is our first run of shows back from basically almost a 2-year hiatus. And so we're really excited to just be in front of people. Like, it's been so long, like 90% of the set we're playing now is all new material, like stuff that came out the past year and a half and stuff. So it's kind of new in the sense of, we're kind of getting back into it, and also everything's new in terms of the material wise. But then also we feel back at home because we're finally, on stage again.
That's wonderful. I believe you played in Austin last night.
We did, yeah. We played at Mohawks.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun. We always had weird shows in Austin because it's always been just for South by, so it's just kind of a gamble. But this time was our first like just show. And there are a lot of people there, more people there to see us than we were expecting, which was just super cool, and we're super grateful for, and the crowd was really into it. And it was just overall like super fun.
Awesome. Like, cause yeah, it's probably been such a long time since you've had this road tour experience.
Yeah, just being in front of people has been just like, yeah, amazing to be able to do again, and it feels new and it feels, but yet familiar, and so yeah, just tons of fun and super grateful.
And with that, usually, DJs like to talk about, like our DJs like to talk about having this almost concert euphoria when you're at a concert. But I guess through the lens of an artist performing, since you haven't gotten to feel that in a while, can you maybe describe if that might be a little?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like a good example is we kind of did like one or two live streams, like on our YouTube channel during the pandemic when we couldn't play shows, and that was just such a sterile environment. Just to be playing alone, but yet people were kind of watching, but not, because it was all through the internet. It was a very interesting experience, and to come in, especially last night and last weekend when we started the tour, it just seeing all those people and getting like real time feedback from people watching and people listening has definitely been missed, and it's super exciting to be a part of that again and be able to do that again. And so yeah, like playing live music definitely there's no comparison. There's no substitution for it. And so, like I said, just super grateful to be back.
And with that, so that's kind of, I know it's not the same as the live music experience, like by far not, but it is a good accommodation.
Yeah.
Especially for maybe people that hadn't been able to go to concerts like at all, maybe because of any limitation. But when it also comes to outside of doing that, how else did you cope in terms of making sure you're, I guess, being able to fulfill yourself musically?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I think a big part of it was because we were on the road so much, like I didn't have time to really write any new material or work on just other parts of the band that weren't that. So for a little while, something that helped kind of keep things going was having time to write freely and not really have a schedule in terms of like, or no expectations or no deadlines to meet in terms of, when a next set of songs are going to come out or what they have to be, when they have to, what do they have to be? So yeah, just being able to write the new music in that environment was a very interesting time and interesting circumstances to be in. So yeah, definitely. And now it's been interesting to take those, because at the time of writing all that new material, there wasn't any promises of live shows happening. So everything was kind of written more as a studio setting in mind. So now trying to translate that is there's just three of us when we play. And so only having six hands kind of makes it an interesting creative box to take those really studio heavy songs and bring them live, and how to translate that has been a fun, interesting challenge now. But yeah, through like that time of kind of a break period, what kept me going was just being able to write and record and try out new instrumentations and all that stuff.
By new instrumentations, did you the equivalent of people learning how to bake bread? Did you try to learn any new instruments?
I bought a euphonium for like a hot second for myself for Christmas. My embouchure is really bad. Apparently, Matt says my embouchure is really bad, but I haven't really played it since. I want to get back into it, but yeah, I guess my musical equivalent of making bread was thinking I could play the euphonium for some reason.
Is it just fully retired now? Are you?
No, it'll make a comeback. I think now since we're back on the road, I've had less time to think about it. But it would be really cool to maybe like take a proper class with some or something like that. But it's not fully retired. Maybe it's on the shelf right now though.
Okay, keep that in mind in case.
Yeah, I might break that out live if I can get the confidence to play a note.
That would be a fun encore.
Just one of the songs solo euphonium style. That'd be crazy.
And earlier you're talking about getting all these songs out and writing. So I would assume a lot of these ended up becoming City Slicker. Yeah.
Most of the record for Ricky, which was the album before City Slicker, was written before the pandemic. So that stuff actually existed, was supposed to come out, and then we kept pushing it back just because we didn't know. At that time, we just didn't know if like the world needed more music. Like we were kind of like, who cares at that point? But then, yeah, for City Slicker, a lot of the songs during that time period that I mentioned before, ended up being City Slicker. The stuff on there, those 6 songs.
And City Slicker released, I believe, like in early late August.
Yeah, it's about like I think 2 months now, so pretty fresh still.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process of making that album?
Yeah.
It seemed like there was a theme based on the Bandcamp description.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to finally write something that wasn't like personally introspective. I kind of wanted to create like a character. And so I kind of went all out, and I thought like it'd be really funny to write songs from a perspective of this main character from this fictional film called like City Slicker, and like what he experiences through his life. And so through those 6 songs, it's a journey of his eyes from like the people he knows, his friends, his love life, his interaction with just his coworkers and colleagues and stuff, and just him and who is the City Slicker. And the 6 songs kind of portrays like a 22-minute journey of whatever of like who this dude is, you know? So yeah.
So I know you've come out with a few music videos. Like
Mm-hmm.
I kind of blast Loretta
Mm-hmm.
at a pretty good rate per month. But would you ever consider like making maybe a longer length music video?
Yeah.
Or like, like a movie version?
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of tried to do that for this one. And I managed to do a music video for all 6 songs, which is definitely something I wanted to do, and build out this whole world. But definitely, like, I'd love to make more long form, like film narrative content in the future, whether that's attached to Ginger Root or not. I think that's definitely something that I've always wanted to try to tackle. And when the time is right, definitely we'll try to do that.
And with that, I mean, you're just mentioning your other interests. How do you think your outside projects have influenced your music as it is today?
Yeah. So my day job is I'm a freelance video editor. I went to film school at Chapman, specifically as an editor. And so I always find it really interesting how there's a rhythmic element to editing, and there's a rhythmic element obviously to music. And so kind of both of that influencing, like the way I edit influences how I think of music and songwriting, and how I make music definitely influences how I edit too. So they are definitely, tied in and attached to one another. So in those regards, like those kind of 2 creative endeavors kind of definitely complement each other.
That's wonderful. And for I guess in terms of just thinking long term in the future, tonight you'll be playing in Fort Worth, I believe?
Yes, correct.
And then I think you have a few other concerts lined up.
Yes.
For this.
Yeah.
Till like the end of the month, roughly.
Actually, just the end of the week.
End of the week.
Yeah.
Wow, days going by.
It's going really fast.
Have any like Halloween plans?
We actually might do a live stream on Halloween. We did that for Ricky, and we're like, why not do it again? And because we couldn't make it out to every city we wanted to for this one, because we're just opening and we're attached to whatever the headliner's doing. We're like, well, let's just do like an official City Slicker kind of celebration. We wanted to do like a real person show and a real tour, but just because of the circumstances, it wasn't possible. So, at the very least, we're going to try to do something like that and do that fun. And just like my middle school dream of my YouTube channel passing like 100,000 subscribers is probably going to happen like this weekend.
Yes.
And so that will also be a celebration for that.
You were like at 99.1.
Yeah.
Today?
This morning. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's closing in, and I'm very excited.
Hopefully by the time this interview comes out, maybe you'll reach it. Or if
Yeah.
not, it's like maybe 3 away, and like you listeners, you can make some history, make some
Yes.
YouTube history.
Yes. Be a part of the action. Be a part of the silver plaque that's awarded.
And with that, in terms of both like your YouTube channel, your music, what do our listeners and or your fans, if they found out about this,
Mm-hmm.
that aren't local to Radio UTD, what can they look forward to in the future?
Yeah, I mean, there's always new music being written and being demoed and all that. I think that's kind of the next thing to kind of work on is definitely the new batch of songs. I mean, City Slicker just came out, and hopefully everyone will enjoy it for the time being as I try to figure out what to do next. And definitely, it's not stopping anytime soon. And we're going out on tour in the spring again. We'll be at South by Southwest, so we'll be back in Texas and everything. In March, and as of right now, that's what we have. But who knows what the futures hold, because City Slicker was kind of just released, and you never know what opportunity is going to come walking through the door.
100%. I feel like it's just going to keep going up. I mean, I can't see how you wouldn't make the YouTube hit. Yeah, you just create really wonderful videos, music. It's a whole vibe. It's an experience. If there's ever a City Slicker movie, I'll be like front row to watch that and maybe cosplay. If there are like cool looking 80s robots, I don't know.
Amazing. Shall keep that in mind.
Radio UTD.
There you go.
But thank you so much for stopping by before your concert tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mercury Morning News. Right now, we'll talk about a little bit of a music news. We got trainees.
We do so many. It fills my heart with joy.
We discussed this a little bit, or it was discussed a little bit at the Cool Cats Couch on Fridays, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. But we can dive in a little bit more now. What do we got? What are the trainings we got in this land?
Oh my gosh. Well, to start off, the training we have that's going to go live for the first time right after our show is Maisie. She's going to be doing a show that plays a lot of Chinese music. She learned the language as a kid, and she thought it would be fun to I think she's still learning it progressively, but it's a mix of practice and also sharing that genre of music or that style of music, because I think it's going to be mixed genre. Other shows is we've got a lot of techno, like Marco. He's going to be doing a curation of kind of techno, ambient. We've got Dominic with the Prog Pond, which is going to be rock and metal, focusing on prog bands from around the world. We've got Tyler, which that's not going to be a music show, but Tyler is a up-and-coming, wants to go into voice acting. And with that, we've got also, we were already speaking of alt earlier, but Peyton, she's going to have a show called Tell Me Alt About It.
Tell me alt about it.
Where it's going to be
lots of puns in this land. We also have
puns
indie
here.
with indie, right?
Yes, we have indie chill with indie. Self-explanatory. But for easy listening, we've got Everything I Love with Kushi. That's going to be a talk show as well, just talking about passionate things that she cares about and going in depth and connection with her audience. So books, travel, quotes, stuff like that. Going to be a feel-good show, kind of bring some positivity to your mornings. Ankit has a mixture of techno, electronic, and progressive house music. His show is going to be called Erratic_Lad.
Erratic Lad.
We've got Enrique with DJ Jody, which I think he actually changed it since filling out our applications, because I'm looking at some of my raw notes right now. But Enrique's show is actually going to be called Synthesia, if I'm saying that right.
Right.
It's going to be a mixing of sight and sound, which is going to be interesting how he's going to do the imagery during his show. But if you're a fan of snail mail, JPEG Mafia, the internet, Japanese breakfast, you're gonna enjoy that show for sure. We've got a lot of trainees. We've got I think 11, 12 in the mix. With Riley, we have Radical or Roulette, which is going to be multiple genre, that classic variety we like to promote on our station. And then Santiago is going to be playing electronic music and electronica and deep house. And his show is going to be called Casa Incognita.
Word. So when are all these shows going to be played?
You will find out on the trainee page on our website, which is yet to release, I believe, because Blake is waiting for Monday to drop that. But it's going to be cute. It's going to be a mini version of DJ show pages. That'll just be at the bottom. The link will be at the bottom of our regular DJ show pages, and it'll just link to their show descriptions.
It's mostly going to be in the
DJs.
mornings, right?
Yeah, it's going to be in the mornings from either the 10 to 11 slot or the 11 to 12 slot. So, like, for example, Maisie's Fine China is going to be 11 to 12 today. These trainee shows are also going to be bi-weekly, which that will be indicated on the trainee show page as well.
Lots of new stuff. Lots of new music to dive into.
So many.
It's going to be a great time. It would be nice to have some more talk shows, though.
It would. It really would. I mean, Tyler and Kushi, for sure, going to go into talk shows. Unless they figure out at the end of the trainee semester they'd rather do a music show.
Understand.
If you could do another talk show, Ben, what would you do?
If I could do another talk show, I'd revive the ad break.
I love that. Would you make it a late night show again?
You know, the only reason I hesitate on doing the ad break is I can't curse. And that's, like...
You would...
I don't know. I would like to be able to curse.
You could make up
I feel like that...
curse words.
Oh my god.
Maybe. Like, in-universe.
I don't know, man. Feels a little bit scuffed.
Just say scuffed.
Scuffed is not a curse word.
We'll make it one. I don't know.
These gosh darn scuffers. Do you have a problem with scuffers in your home? Well, you can fix that right here. I've got the product for you. You know, if you need to deal with scuffers, I've got this 410 gauge shotgun for sale.
And that's gonna be Ad Break 2022, y'all.
Ad Break 2022. I'll just run 3 shows casually.
Dude. Next semester, though, I will be starting up GeoTunes again, but in a talk show format.
Wonderful.
With a co-host.
Ah. Who's the co-host?
Her name's Caitlin.
All right.
You will meet her very soon. But she is...
This feels like an
Dino
ominous
Queen.
thing. He's like, you will meet her very soon. And I'm just like, okay.
I can make it more ominous if you want. But it's going to be nice to have a co-host and just planning, more of a educational format in a more condensed time frame.
Nice. No, just go back and forth, make it more and more ominous. You will meet her very soon.
She's been in the closet this whole time.
Oh, God. That's crazy.
Dude, what? I could do that. No, that'd probably be too much.
Yeah, just one of the Mercury Morning News. You just hide her in the closet before I get here. And she just pops out and you're like, alright, we're going to be doing GeoTunes. Let's go.
But yeah, speaking of talk shows, since we're on the topic, one of our previous talk shows actually won first place in the College Media Association.
This is true.
For Best Audio Talk Entertainment Program.
Skok Show is very good.
Skok Show was amazing. I'm so happy they're receiving national recognition.
It's a great show. Just check it out on our YouTube. We've got it all archived. It's a great time. And if you've got problems with scuffers in your closet, you can buy something at the ad break today. You can call in at the number. You know what the number is. The show is coming back, guaranteed. You heard it right here. Next year, 2022.
Setting it in stone, okay.
2022, but even if it doesn't, you're going to listen to it all right here on Radio UTD. This has been the Mercury Morning News. Thank you very much for listening. Some new music. We've got Church of the Misdirection from Kate Vargas. And more music from Joey DeFrancesco's More Music coming on up at the end of the hour. After that, it's going to be Fine China with Maisie. It's going to be a great time. We're all going to find out what in the world all Chinese music means. But until then, thank you for listening. I'm Ben.
I'm Amanda.
And have a great Mercury morning.